So I visited the ancient Ram Inn about a month ago. It's a really crazy building and actually has some very interesting history that, in my opinion, solidifies its haunted title. It also has some creepy artifacts such as a mummified cat. To start with, the house was built on a pagan burial ground and was owned by St. Mary's Church. It has been claimed that children have been sacrificed and devil worship was carried out on this burial ground. There are remains of a tunnel system in the bar area. It is believed that the tunnel went to the local church. Priests once used this inn as a keeping house for slaves and workers who helped construct St. Mary's Church. A previous bishop of Gloucester tried and failed to exorcise the ancient Ram Inn and was quoted in the press saying, "It was the most evil place I have ever had the misfortune to visit." Also, evidence of pagan sacrifice was found during an excavation. A grave was discovered with the remains of a woman and a child, with knives being found along with their remains. It was used by the famous highwayman to make his escape from the police. Also, the land where the inn is built is on the intersection of two ley lines. These are places which people believe to have high spiritual energy. Anyway, that was a really condensed version of a bunch of the things that have happened here in the past and why people think it might be haunted. There are, in theory, 20 ghosts that reside in the ancient Ram Inn. A woman who lodged in the inn in the 1500s was accused of being a witch. She was dragged out and burned at the stake. When the chimney was reopened, satanic artifacts were found. The men's kitchen is a room that sits directly on the site of a pagan burial ground. The energy in this room is so thick and full of dread, even non-believers feel uneasy. A baby can often be heard crying in this room. Apparently, people walking up a very steep staircase from this room have been pushed back down by an unseen force. On the first floor is the bishop's room. Many different apparitions have been seen in this room. Someone dressed in a traditional cavalier has been seen by the dressing room table and then pridefully walk across the room. 2 monks have been seen standing in the corner. A shepherd and his dog have been seen by the door. Also, people staying overnight at the inn reported a man pushing them down. The attic is also a paranormal hotspot. A young woman who was the old innkeeper's daughter back in the 1500s was murdered in the attic. There has been many reports of hearing loud, heavy dragging sounds in the attic from people staying in the bishop's room below. The ghost of a highwayman is also said to reside here. Next to the kitchen used to be a stable, but is now a living space. Strange lights have been seen flashing and spinning by the door. A teenager on a ghost tour was thrown to the floor with many eyewitnesses. In the bar room, the apparition of a former innkeeper has been seen on many different occasions. A spirit called Elizabeth, who was supposedly murdered and buried beneath the inn. The sound of scratching has also been heard very loudly in this room. In the witch's room, a woman with a black cat has been seen, and in another room, a large cat is often seen. There's not much more to this, I just love when people see ghost cats or dogs. There are even more ghost stories and reports that come from this inn, but I could talk for hours about this location, so I just chose some of my I went on a ghost hunt here just before Halloween, and I won't lie, we didn't get an awful lot of activity, but it definitely was a really creepy house, and you can definitely understand why people would think it's haunted.